Hi everyone, welcome to Theater Arts 122, Theater for the 21st Century. This is the Spring 2009 online section of this course. My name is Josh Nathan, and I'm going to be your instructor. And I wanted to start off by sharing something with you. I was cleaning out my cars the other day, and under the passenger seat of my truck, I found an old cassette tape. It's Steely Dan's Greatest Hits cassette tape. Now, my truck has 200,000 miles on it, so it's got some pretty antiquated equipment, and it's got a tape player. And usually I just listen to my iPod through one of those converters that goes into the tape player. But I found this tape, so I took the converter out, put the tape in. And as I was listening to it, I came to a song, I think it was Black Friday, that I just didn't feel like listening to. And I realized I'm stuck. Unless I want to fast forward or rewind while I'm driving, which takes a long time, at least long with our perspective right now, I'm sort of committed to this album as Steely Dan put it forth. And that got me thinking about the difference between analog and digital in our lives. Because in the end, I was really rewarded by making this commitment to this piece of art, this album as a whole, to listening to the whole thing, instead of deciding for myself that I wanted to switch, that I wanted to go to a different band, that I wanted to change the order of the songs, that I wanted to customize my listening experience. But that the commitment to the piece of artwork as a whole, from beginning to end, really rewarded me in the end. I listened to songs I hadn't listened to in a while that I really, really enjoyed it. That really, it was a lot of reverie for me from high school and being a teenager, which I really enjoyed. And I think that we have a lot of sort of digital experiences now, especially with online media, digital media. Even with this class, you can pause this lecture at any time and come back and watch more of it, after you have a snack or whatever. And I think that analog relationships are really powerful and really important. Children are an analog relationship. They're a huge commitment that you make. My marriage is analog. Sometimes my wife and I are not into the music that's playing right now in our relationship. It can get really annoying sometimes. But we're committed to this piece of art, our marriage as a whole, and we are richly rewarded by that commitment, by making that commitment. Now, the reason that I bring all of this up, well, two reasons really. I think that with the inauguration of our new president, one of the things that Obama is doing by calling us all to service, at least in my mind, is asking us to have an analog relationship with our country, with patriotism. Because at least for me, for the past 8 years, and even the years that preceded that, there were so many events that happened politically that so turned me off to the process that I had just decided that I was just going to focus my life on what was important, what was in front of me, and to hell with the country and the rest of the world, because I just don't buy any of it anyways. And to me, that's a digital attitude. I'll turn this off when it doesn't suit me. I'll change the band when it doesn't suit me. And I think Obama is saying that we should have an analog, committed relationship with our country again, and that the White House will do everything they can to make us proud of that commitment. Now, what does all this have to do with the theater? Well, the theater is the ultimate analog experience. It really is. It's a continuous wave of experience, as opposed to even television or film. Which differ from the theater in that they're not this communal event. They're not this thing where the audience really makes up part of the performance. I mean, the performers can't do what they do in the theater without you, the audience, sitting there. And it's also really, really dangerous. Anything can happen at the theater, which is one of the reasons why I brought this with me for this, because he makes this more dangerous. He can spit up all over my lap at any moment. And the theater is dangerous that way. The theater is a baby in your lap. It might spit up all over you at any given point. And that's another thing that makes the theater powerful, is that it is willing to spit up on you. That as opposed to all other media, which in one way or another are there to reinforce your demographic. Now, that's because they're all rich in some way. They all make money. They're all there. They're all part of commerce in some way. And the theater really is poor. Most of the theater is poor. So whereas most forms of entertainment are there to reinforce your demographic, the theater is there to upset you, to push you out of it, to change your opinions, to change your paradigm of belief, to spit up all over your lap. And that's one of the things that makes the theater so powerful. Now, of course, the irony of this course is it's an online course about this live communal experience. So one of the things that I'll do to help bridge that gap a little bit so that we're not just looking at text on the screen, which is sort of the antithesis to the theater, is I'll post one of these video blogs along with every chapter to share, some of my opinions, some of my aesthetic, maybe my sense of drama, my sense of comedy with you guys, and to have you guys participate with me in that in some way, so that we're a little bit closer to what this thing that we call the theater is. And it really is a powerful part of our culture. Ever since man became conscious, really, of his surroundings, of himself as something separate from his surroundings, he started to make observations about those surroundings. And when he wanted to share them with people around them, he had to act them out, to do things, to show things. And the word drama comes from a Greek word, which means to act or to show, to do. And from sub-Saharan Africa through the Greeks and the Romans and medieval drama and the Renaissance and Elizabethan drama, Shakespeare, through the Restoration, Romanticism, melodrama, realism, into all the isms of the 20th century, and through that to the 21st century. This is what we're still doing. We're sharing our experience with the world around us in a way that is really communal and dangerous, and in a way that pushes us to change our views of the world. So what I'd like us to do together, the first thing that I'd like us to do together, is to just sort of question the title, Theater for the 21st Century. And the way I want us to do that is to put a big question mark at the end, so that it doesn't read Theater for the 21st Century, but it reads Theater for the 21st Century. Because this is what I want you to do, to just keep questioning. Is there a theater for the 21st century for you? Is it meaningful for you? Does it have a place in your society and culture? And if so, what that is, to just really keep looking at it from all angles and to stay curious about it. For these 15 weeks, to have an analog relationship with the theater, to commit to this art form as a whole, to the whole experience of it, and to see if you do care, if there is a theater for the 21st century for you. So to get started, the first thing I want you to do is to pop over to Beachboard, take a look at all the due dates that apply to the chapters that you'll read, the online quizzes that you'll take. There's multiple choice, there's essay quizzes, and there'll be a series of other small assignments and a final project at the end. We're going to take a look, get an idea of sort of what the schedule is going to be over the course of the semester, so that you can keep up to date on the work. And then your first assignment is to go over to the discussion board and post your first response to the discussion board. I'm really looking forward to popping in the tape of theater arts for the 21st century for us in spring '09 and see what it means to us. All right? We'll see you soon. Bye, Elliot.